And away we go. It is the Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you as always by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get you some delivery on Uber Eats or stop down in Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up and save yourself 15%. Make sure you remember, closed on Monday and Tuesday for the rest of 2022 as they work on improvements to the restaurant. Wednesday through Thursday, make sure you get down to Galactic and get yourself some delicious fried chicken. All right, Aaron. It's an off day today. So
Is that?
Here, hold on. Tag, you're it.
Fair enough. If you're listening, did want to put some things out there. Right now on BCJ, BearcatJournal.com, we do have the Madden Twitch League that we are trying to garner interest to see if that's something that we should do. Either way, probably going to do something with it. But we would like to see if Bearcat Journal members want to be involved. As of right now, I don't know if there is cross-platform. We will update you as soon as I research into some of that. I know you can at least play games on a lot of other sports games cross-platform, but I don't know if you can do a full franchise mode in cross-platform or not. We'll get those answers within the week as that game comes out on Tuesday. That said, also put out a survey question. Not a questionnaire yet. I'm going to be working on putting a survey together,
maybe
potentially, to get feedback for ways that we can improve Bearcat Journal. So right now that's on the board as well. So we'll see how that goes. That's out of the way. So there was an article from The Athletic. It was, I forget the guy's name.
Bruce Feldman.
There it is.
Feldman does the list, does the
Freaks list
every year. Yeah.
And there were 3 on the list for the Bearcats. Those 3 being Josh Wiley, Tyler Scott, and Trey Tucker.
Yeah.
54 for Tyler Scott, 67 for Trey Tucker, 78 for Josh Wiley.
About right. I mean, there's no James Wiggins on this roster that just like Wiggins was at up near the top because he checked every box. Like it could bench 700 and plus 700 whatever pounds, 725 or whatever he maxed out at. Could run a 4.4. Could jump out of the weight room. Like every single little measurable Wiggins checked the box. A little surprised after his Squat Fest performance, we maybe didn't see an Ivan Pace in there.
We'll get to why we think that, or who we think the other freaks could have been. But
yeah, but those 3 make sense. I mean, Wiley's got the size and the strength and the athleticism, and we both know Trey and Tyler are just freaks of nature. Speed, athleticism, strength. Like those are 2 5'9", 200-pounders that squatted 600 pounds
each.
Like that's and ran 4.29s
each.
That's freakish. Like that's in the absolute definition of what Bruce Feldman is looking for. That is freakish for sure.
Trey Tucker seems to get a lot more spotlight than Tyler Scott. That said, were you surprised to see Tyler Scott ahead of Trey Tucker on this list?
No, I mean they're not that far off from each other to where
I think he sent Bruce Feldman a scented candle. I'm just saying.
Probably. I mean, he could have.
He could have.
Smart move.
Sounds like he's got something to spare.
Candle? Who doesn't like a scented candle?
Hey, I mean, a nice terry cloth robe. I get it.
I'm not a candle guy, but if I walk in and Kelly's got a delightful scented candle burning, I'm like, oh, house smells good. Like, I'm not going out of my way to light one, but like, I appreciate one. I don't know if I like mint and eucalyptus. I don't know if that's my jam. I'm more like strawberry pound cake or whatever that one is. That's really good.
Yeah, Rachel is a candle person, and I'm into like fresh linen or cotton or the ocean breezes, like he was talking about. I'm into
Yeah.
those kind of like the fresh smells. Yeah,
I just don't know that mint and eucalyptus would be.
uh,
I'm more into the fruit. Like I like the fruit ones, the pineapple, the strawberries, like
you want to feel like
variations.
you're in the Caribbean, huh?
Right.
Okay,
That's I'm a Caribbean guy. I love the Caribbean.
fair enough.
So yeah. But yeah, he might have bribed him. That's very possible. Send him a neck pillow. The little water fountain feature
No
that he's
shame in that
got.
game.
No. I mean, I imagine Tyler Scott is the perfect roommate.
1,000%. He's got to be you. You have to be a clean guy to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like impressively clean.
Yeah.
Like you could eat off the counters at any time of any day without a plate. Now he would kill you for doing so.
No, you better clean that up. Get out the spray. Get out the spray for sure.
But I would imagine he's like the ideal roommate, as long as you're not like the super disgusting. Like
he's mad that you never vacuum, but he's always vacuuming before you can actually get to vacuum. Right?
You weren't. I didn't even get home. You got home from practice 20 minutes before me, and you ran the Swiffer and the vacuum. You can't be mad at me for not vacuuming. I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Come on. But perfect roommate.
But yeah, I'm glad to see those three on the list.
No, you know what we need to do? We need to find out who his roommate is at Higher Ground and ask him about being Tyler's roommate.
That'll make for a good question for sure.
Like that is... we're getting to the point now with this show that like content ideas are just popping up in my head as we talk through things, because sometimes it's good to have just a random flowing conversation, because ideas come from random flowing conversations.
So let's see what you're doing there. So the freaks that didn't make it on this team.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Ivan Pace. Any more that you want to go in on that?
It's just strong. I think the question, I don't know what his 40 is. I imagine all of the like lifting stuff, he's out of this world. Like I would guess, as like compact as he is, he could bench 1,000 pounds like 18 times, because he just has like I don't know. I think that about sums it up with Ivan. I would guess probably, like, if I'm guessing why he's not on the freaks list, I guess his 40 probably hurt him in that regard.
Fair enough. I wonder what the criteria that eliminated Juwan Briggs from that list was.
Yeah, I would agree. Like the next in line for me would be Briggs for sure.
And I know Nick Mardner appears to be an alien. I think it's hard to put somebody on a freaks list though when you don't know if he's going to be one of the starters or not.
No, I don't think the freaks list is about like performance. I think it's about numbers. Like,
okay,
what's your vertical? What's your broad jump? What's your 40 time? What's your lifting numbers? Like, I think that's, if you look at each of the, like what he's talking about with each of those kids, like what he does, I'm sure, is just contacts, like builds relationships with strength coaches, and then says, send me
this.
Yeah.
You're best at this. Like you're top 5 at this. You're top 5 at that. Which means very soon you could see some guys like a Drew Donnelly on that list. Mm-hmm. Or a Quincy Burrows, a JQ Hardaway on that list.
Absolutely. A Rob Jackson.
That's a big dude too.
Like if you look, a lot of those freaks are like offensive and defensive linemen that just have crazy impressive, numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see a Rob Jackson on there. Dude, I think CJ Doggett's like a sneaky big time athlete.
I know we continue to go back to this freshman class, but this freshman class is going to be making waves.
In terms of, and I know like last year we raved about Rob Jackson and Jack Dingle and
Sure.
Miles Montgomery and a lot of other dudes. But there's a bunch of we're like I said, we're like yesterday, we're starting to get a look at Dom Shepard. We're starting to get a look at Gilly and Doggett and JQ and Quincy, and they're really high on Ethan Green so far, and like you're bouncing around that. Like it's got a chance to be impactfully what the 2018 class meant to this program.
Potentially. I mean, I'm not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves, but
no, it's going to take time. And 18 had a decided advantage, and that they were coming into a program that was desperate for them.
And and now where the program is at is they're able to recruit with the Big 12 just in the rafters waiting to be brought.
Yeah, I mean, but they didn't have that for 22. They had it for 23.
It was the whispers were there.
Yeah, but that's not the same. That doesn't count the same. You don't get to, until you can say this is UC with the Big 12 next to it in the logo. Until you say that, you really don't get that like real bump.
Well, they hadn't signed LOIs yet. I mean, yes, you were.
Yeah, but they had all committed. Like maybe it prevented a couple of them from flipping or whatever. I'm just saying,
yeah.
Like I like the 23 class, those kids were all recruited to the Big 12. Mm-hmm. I'm not comfortable saying, like, crediting that with the 2022 class, which also shows how great of a job Pat and Max and the staff and everybody did with this 2022 class, especially coming out of COVID when there was such limited tape. Man. And like to be able, and I think that might have helped some, because I think, maybe a guy's name didn't blow up the way it should have. Or could have if they had a full senior year tape and a full camp cycle. And, that's where when you're elite at talent identification and talent evaluation, something like what happened with COVID is going to be a benefit for some places on the recruiting front. And it's going to be a benefit for those places that are the best at identification and evaluation. And I think this 2022 class is a great example of, like, I know 2021, I know Rob Jackson was a matter of because of where he played and his situation, he would have been seen a lot more if it wasn't for the circumstance. And Cincinnati was able to go in there and get that done before anybody else figured it out. Right. The freaks list. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I can talk about this 2022 class all day. Like,
they're fun.
Yeah.
Well, and the crazy thing is, like, I know even I went back and I put in all the timestamps for the BBP.
All 30 of them.
It's obscene. But I went in and put those all in, and we didn't even mention. We hardly mentioned Ken Willis. We didn't even mention Kalen Carroll. There's a couple other ones that we hardly mentioned, but this class it's certainly impressive. But yes, going back to the freaks list, is there anybody else that's on your radar for upcoming freaks list?
I think we hit on most of them. Sincere Lewis.
I was wondering if you'd get to him.
Amorion Smith.
Shamama Taylor.
Shamama Taylor is going to be on the freaks list. That should have been number one on that's good work. That's on me. Hand up. That's on me. I screwed that one up. Shamama Taylor. We can stop there. Shamama Taylor.
Well, I think Marcus Peterson has a chance to be.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. I think he's a little stiff right now. Still,
he's raw.
A little raw. But I thought Shaman was a little bit like that when he first got here. And then he goes into his first offseason and he's ripping off 22 miles an hour.
Just obscene.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of fun to be had with that as far as looking ahead. But that should be something to keep an eye on with these guys as we watch camp and get to see some of those threes go out, because I don't know that I've ever, and of course I had a vested interest in this class more so than last year's because I got to know these kids, but getting to watch them develop I've never been this excited to watch threes.
Yeah, I started that like 2 years ago was when it started, like when like Sammy and all those guys got here and they were all running with the threes for a whole season. It was like, oh, threes. Yeah, let's see some threes. Let's see what these guys are going to do. And this year is again, like, let's get the threes out there and see what the baby Bearcats look like.
We didn't even mention Luther.
Yeah.
Just there's a lot of dudes in the future of the Bearcat.
I mean, I talked about that with Lance today. When I was on with him on LW, like this isn't, you look around and it's big boy football. Like it doesn't look like the little engine that could anymore with guys that are, 6 foot 175 and offensive linemen that are, 6'3", 280. Like, no, this isn't who this program is anymore. This program's all grown up. Yeah, and there's freaks everywhere.
No, Potter 6'5" and 280.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna start calling Josh Wiley a freak, and not like good way, freak.
No, yeah, that's deserved. That's who you guys are with each other. It's fine.
It is what it is.
I don't know that we really have time to get into another topic, but that's
no. And you got to go do like a Reds. You get your little Reds shirt on. I see.
I do.
It's so adorable.
Little crossover action tonight as the boys of Pardon the Punctuation are going to the Late Night Reds show. So that should be interesting.
I need to get some sleep because tomorrow's a
big day.
Long. Don't expect to hear from me on Friday. Tomorrow goes camp, lunch, drive to Kenwood, do radio for 3 hours, drive home, do a podcast for 2+ hours, do a nightcap, write a practice report, edit or get up all the video on the YouTube channel, and then sleep until Saturday when we have the scrimmage.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow night. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. It's the Nightcap. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!